This is Leisha Holmes, and I'm your host on the Recruiters Recruitment Podcast. And this is officially the last episode with a guest of season 5. And I cannot believe that I'm saying that. What started as a little project during COVID has had 5 seasons, and you've stuck with us. So, wherever you're listening now, thank you so much for doing so. And actually, my next guest got in touch with me because he's a listener and he wanted to talk about a topic that I think I'm going to probably get quite deep and dirty with because it's all around the future of the recruitment industry. Can't wait for you to get to know him too. So, without further ado, this is Tom Andrews, who is the CEO and Recruitment Director of Andrews Recruitment Group and most recently Recxchange. Welcome to you today, Tom. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me. Honestly, ever since you first mentioned this, it's been literally just staring at me on my calendar. I've been waiting so much because I'm really excited, really
Oh,
excited.
bless you. You live in one of the most beautiful parts of the United Kingdom. And I've actually not been to where you live, but I've been to Battle in Hastings. I have been to Kent. So you're based in, is it Rochester? You said in Kent.
Based in
Gorgeous.
Rochester in Kent. Yeah, lovely little town. Lovely little town. I've got a lovely view of the castle and the
Oh,
cathedral and the
gorgeous.
River Medway. Yeah, really love it here. We've only been here for, well, since September. So we've only been here for a few months, but
Mm.
honestly, it's been, yeah, lovely
For
place.
any of our listeners who are based overseas, and particularly we have a lot of people who are based over in America, this is not far from your Canterbury Tales, and there's a lot of history. But if you ever get a chance to go to Battle, which of course is where the Battle of 1066 happened, it's basically a field, and
Stunning place.
but it's unbelievable. It's
Yeah.
stunning. Highly
Yeah.
recommend it. But this is not, don't worry, you've not clicked on a history podcast. I'm just really interested to know about where people live. So tell us about your primary business, obviously, Andrews, and then I know you want to talk about Recxchange. Give us a potted history, if you would, Tom.
Yeah, amazing. Thanks. Well, so for me, my recruitment days started back in sort of 2015. Starting like obviously within tech, 360 recruitment, learning the hard ways through agency recruitment. And since then, obviously, I've done various different roles. Obviously, sticking within agency, RPO, in-house. And since 2024, I launched my own recruitment business, Andrews Recruitment. Um, didn't know what else to call it, so I named it after myself, as you
Well, you
normally
might
do.
you might as well. And what market is Andrews Recruitment doing?
So for me, we are primarily focused on engineering, manufacturing, construction. But I
Okay.
found my little niche within that, which is sort of within the minerals and wholesale building materials sector.
Oh, wow.
So asphalt plant, concrete plants, stuff like that. But yeah, so obviously I've been doing that for just over a year now, which has been exciting. Obviously, I've never run an own business before, but I love recruitment. I wanted to really dive in, make something my own, and just be passionate about it. So yeah, it's been great.
Well, first of all, congratulations on 10 years in the industry, 2015. That means you're a decade in. Congratulations on a year in Andrews. And your market sounds really interesting. I love niche, niche, niche.
Yes.
And how has that been? Because I have to say, I've been in recruitment a very long time, and I think the last 24 months have been particularly challenging for
Yeah.
anybody that's running a recruitment business, regardless of size. So how has it been for you launching in a difficult market?
It's yeah. I mean, look. Obviously, the plan was very much, I'm going to be the biggest recruitment agency out there, but you're launching in a very difficult time. So then
Hmm.
it's learning on the job on how to build a successful business in a very, strange and tough market, whilst looking at staying lean as well and trying to be as most successful as you can in that state. It's been a great learning curve, and I'm happy to say that we had a very good first year.
Hmm.
I was not expecting it like at all.
Good.
So yeah, you put down projections and stuff, but at the start of the year to sort of see how you get on. And luckily, I think with clients that I brought on board, I've been very lucky with the relationships built with them have been fantastic. And fees
Hmm.
wise, I've probably tripled what my original projections were.
Wow, that's the right way around to do it. Can I just say, I'm just being really a little bit flippant here, but there's no luck to it, Tom. This is down to your capabilities clearly and the strategic approach you've taken to which clients you're working with. There's no luck, I don't think. There's a little bit sometimes when it comes to the perfect
Yeah.
job and the perfect candidate, but there's no luck to building a business, I don't think.
Oh no, honestly, but the thing is like the amount of clients that I brought on board. Don't get me wrong, I don't really like business development. I don't
Mm.
like doing it, but I know it's essential. I know I
Mm.
have to do it.
Okay.
Um, but it happens to be that the way that I've approached it has somehow worked in my
Well,
industry, and
maybe
I've
because you're not salesy, maybe because you're not
yeah,
disingenuous, maybe because they
it is
see
what it
that
is
you
with
are.
me.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
maybe that. I don't want to come across as the recruiter from the early noughties where we promise the world and deliver an ant.
Right.
it's not
And
going to work.
I've never heard that before. And it's not just from the early noughties. They've existed from the beginning of time, and they will continue to exist until the market squeezes them out, which could possibly lead us on to the future of recruitment. So you wanted to talk about you. So your experience, you're a solo recruiter. You've almost had to eat your frog, haven't you? You've had to do the
Yeah,
parts of the job you don't enjoy. So what
yeah.
would your advice be? We do get a lot of people listening who are solopreneurs, and I take my hat off to each and every one of you. And I hope you feel part of something by listening here and having a shared experience. So what would you say your biggest experiences have been that you can share? Like your advice.
Honestly, it's ride the roller coaster. It's ride the wave because it's an absolute trip. Like you're going to have 4 days of the week that are going to feel absolutely rubbish, but you're going to have that one day where even if someone replies to an email or even if you get a candidate forward, it's taking that and just sort of riding that roller coaster because honestly, day by day, it sounds and it feels absolutely rubbish, but by the end of each week or each month, it's always an upward trajectory. And you just got to be consistent to keep doing it.
Mm,
If you don't like business development, if you don't like admin, social media now is such a huge part of recruitment. If you don't like recording yourself,
yeah.
just bite the bullet, do
Yeah.
it, try and be consistent with your
Do it
time, and
anyway.
you'll do it.
Mm.
You'll get there.
I think consistency gets underplayed actually. And I think very often
100%.
there's this kind of preconception that to be a successful, whether it's solopreneur or business, it's all relative. At the end of the day, it's all about your actual NOP at the end of each quarter or year.
Yeah,
It's about consistent behaviors in all the things you've said,
yeah,
whether it's things that you enjoy doing or not. And that is, when you say admin, I'm presuming like populating your database, because without your data, there's no point having the best automation tools. It's just pointless. So it's all
yeah.
these little things that are really important.
Exactly. For me, to be consistent, like I said, for me, like I've got ADHD. So if I don't have like a set framework or like a bit of a planner, like my mind, it goes everywhere and
Mm.
I will be finishing a project that I started 2 weeks ago today, sort of thing. And it's just, I'm all over the place. So
Right.
my diary is literally segmented in so many different areas,
Good.
but not just like this is admin. It's like this is admin, but allow yourself time to do this, and this as well. So you've got that element to it. So just try and be consistent in the time that you give yourself to do tasks and by
Okay.
actually doing them. Like, don't just be like, oh, it's now time for business development. Oh, actually, I'm going to make a cup of tea. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go feed the dog. Like, if it's that time, be strict and be consistent. Just do it.
And be organized. Do
Yeah.
you also have the things like, making time for a walk in the day, making time to do your social media, making time to send your invoices? Like you literally break down every task.
Yeah, so I've got
Mm.
if I want to do social media stuff, that is put in there every sort of like I have a bit of an hour slot for that.
Good.
I don't really I go to the gym before work.
Me too.
Early bird, I like to get up and get
Done.
it done.
Yeah.
So then that way I don't have to worry about finding the time. Because if I went out for a walk during the day, yes, it's great to get
Mm,
away and it clears your mind,
mm,
but my
mm.
mind will always be thinking of all the different things. So I
Yeah.
like to be able to just get it done, move on, get to that next project.
You spend the hour walk thinking of all the things I need to do when I get back. It kind of
Yeah.
defeats the object a little bit. I think sometimes it's nice to get a break in the day, but you know yourself. But I think if for the takeaway for people listening, and that this applies if you are working for somebody on a desk, is to
Mm.
be super organized and to not underestimate the power of consistency, because actually by being consistent, you will become a consistent biller, and consistent billers often become the top performers because it's that continuous, you look at footballers, you look at athletes, it's not always the ones that run the fastest, it's the ones that are consistent with their training, for example.
Exactly.
Really, really helpful. So tell us about Recxchange then, because that's your new baby.
It is, yeah. So Recxchange was initially dreamt up during my first year of running Andrews Recruitment. So at one point I had 7 or 8 clients. I was working some roles. I think I had probably about 10, 15 roles I was working on. But you carry on with your program, with the consistent sort of work that you put in. And I carried on with business development. And I won a new client who, on paper, by turnover, by size, everything, they were like Goliath. They were huge. And I was like, okay, this is amazing. And they said you've got access to all of our roles, and there's 92 of them. And as someone who is just a solo recruiter, I was then stuck in that situation. I was like, well, do I, how do I get past this? How do I please this new client by being the best that I can and trying to fill as many roles? And how do I keep the relationships of my current clients and not let them down on the roles that I've already got?
Yeah.
So there was a lot of thought going into it on how to manage my time and what to work on. And I thought to myself, I wish that I could, I wish there was someone I could sort of work with. And I reached out to some recruiter friends that I know, and it was either outside of their
Right.
network or they were
Hmm.
busy themselves. And it was just the case, I wish there was an easier way. So I spoke to my business partner about it, who is not, he's not a recruiter, he's not technical, but he's like, you know what, he loves technology. And he was just sort of like, we can build that. There's something there and we can build it.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. And he went away and came back and he sort of showed me this mock-up of it. And he was just sort of like, what do you think? And I'm like, it's amazing. Like, this is
So what
fantastic.
does it do? It matches up
So
recruiters to
look,
recruiters.
yes, look, Recxchange is not a job board.
Hmm.
It's a community, it's a social network for recruiters, but at the core of it, it's got an AI smart matchmaking system.
Okay.
I jokingly said it's like Tinder for recruiters.
Okay.
But it
You
basically
never know, it could still have that effect.
it could, you never know. So it could be, so if I was to upload a role in my situation that I was in before, where I didn't
Yep.
have the time to work on these roles, I'd rather take 50% split than zero. So
Mm.
I could upload these roles to the portal, to the platform, and then any other recruiter within the community can upload candidates that they've got sitting on their ATS. Maybe they're silver candidates, maybe they're B, C, or D candidates. They didn't quite make it, didn't quite get to that
Mm.
job. They could upload those candidates. And if there is a match between their candidate and my role, our AI software matches them together, notifies both of the recruiters and sort of says, look, here, there's a match. This candidate matches your role. They're actually a
Yeah.
93% match compared to what you've uploaded onto the job spec. And then both of the recruiters get in touch, sort out a split fee agreement, put some terms in place, sign it, make sure it's all done properly, and there we go. Candidate wins, they get a job, or at least an interview, but they
Yeah,
should
yeah.
get a job. Recruit with a candidate wins for getting 50%, recruit with a role wins 50%, client wins, everyone's a winner.
Everybody's winning. And how has this been rolled out? Like where are you? We're recording this in June 2025. So where are you in terms of rollout?
So we launched June 2nd,
Wow. So it's very new.
very new, few weeks. Um, few weeks down, we've got about 1,000 people on the community already.
Amazing.
Um, just over 100 roles on there already, lots of candidates on there already. So it's very new, but it's moving really quick. It's really good.
That's incredible. And so how does this then, I guess, segue into what you think the future of recruitment will look like, given that you're
Mm,
creating a unique community where people collaborate, the true sense of collaboration here, Tom?
exactly. Look, for me, it's all about collaboration over competition. There's no need to compete. everyone can literally, whether you're a solo recruiter, freelance, micro agency, you can be part of this community. You can stay lean, but grow on your revenue by being part of this workforce, this global
Yeah.
workforce.
I was going to
You
say,
can
there's no reason
turn
why you're hindered by geography, presumably.
exactly, there's no borders, there's no restrictions with that. So
Mm.
it could be the case that you're talking to a new client and saying to them, like, give me, I will work on your role for say 7 days, and if I don't fill it off my own back, I will get the community of currently 1,000 other recruiters to work on this role for you.
Mm.
No other agency, RPO has that manpower.
No.
You look at the biggest recruitment agencies or the biggest RPOs in the world, they might have 3 to 5 thousand recruiters employed by them, but
Mm.
they'll not all be working the same role.
No.
They'll all be on lots of different accounts.
Yeah, that's it.
So, so that is, for me, that is how I can see the future of the smaller agencies or the freelance recruiters taking a bit of power back. Because
Yeah.
times are tough. Times are tough. And we're seeing so many recruiters out of work, so many smaller recruitment agencies closing
Yeah.
monthly.
I know.
Um,
It's a
so
it's a very challenging time for a lot of
it,
people at all
it
stages in their career.
Yeah, exactly. It's so difficult. So it's like, I like to see it as this is a way, this is an opportunity. I'm not going to say to people, oh, join Recxchange, you're going to make a career out of this, because that's not what it's about.
No.
It's about collaborating with people who either can't fill a role or struggling to fill a role, or if you've got a candidate that's amazing and not an opportunity for them, have it there, have it like a quiet engine running in the background, a
Yeah,
bit like an
that's I like
automation
that.
type system. Yeah, it's like you have it running in the background to potentially make money.
So it's almost like there's no obligation to it, but ultimately the confidentiality for the candidate is still owned by that recruiter that's representing them. So there's I guess barriers in place to ensure that you're not doing anything inappropriate. You're just collaborating because the collaboration exists, but what you're doing is you're creating a one place that everyone can aspire to be part of,
Exactly.
and you can sort of jump in and out of it,
Yeah,
presumably.
exactly.
Mm.
To be part of the community, it's less than a coffee a week at Costa. I know I've just been to Costa and it cost me what felt like a fortune. But no, it's less than a coffee a week to be part of the community. And yeah, look, the opportunities at the moment are huge. So your return on investment is massive, but it's just being part of that community, part of
Mm.
that workforce. But like you say, if you do upload a candidate, you're in control of what data you upload. Of course, we
Yeah.
ask for a CV to be uploaded, but you can anonymize that. That's
Yeah.
absolutely fine. The way our system works is it will take the PDF CV and it will basically convert it into numbers. Obviously, long string of numbers, but it makes it more accurate to then find the role because it takes the role, it converts that to numbers, and it matches it that way. So there is
You just went
no
all
data.
technical on us, Tom.
I don't. I try not to
I think I
because
knew what you meant, but I'm not really sure. Numbers, letters, technical. It's
that's
basically
that's
it's pulling out the things that the AI will search upon to match it to the relevant job, presumably.
exactly. Yeah. Look, the technical side is not my wheelhouse. I'm the recruiter side of this. Like,
Two
uh,
recruiters talking here, Tom. Can't
yeah.
fool me.
But no, no, honestly, it's so easy to navigate around. It's so easy to use. The AI software does the hard work for you. It doesn't
Great.
just on say a typical job board, you may look at a role and be like, I want to put my candidate forward to that position. We take your candidate, and this software runs 24/7, forever scanning every single opportunity. So it could actually, instead of just having one opportunity for you, it could give you seven.
Yeah,
So
great.
there is just a lot more. It grows with opportunity, obviously, with the more people that go on there as well,
Mm.
the more roles get uploaded, or the more candidates, there are more opportunities there are.
Is there a risk in the future that the recruiter that's introducing the candidate isn't going to be necessary? So it's going to effectively maybe have an impact on their future?
Think so, no, because obviously with that, you want to make sure that obviously the data that's inputted is still correct, but it's still
Mm.
going to be assigned to obviously the recruiter that's uploaded.
Mm,
So whether if we've got candidates that are still existing on that platform,
mm.
that's still going to be tied back to that recruiter. But
Yes.
we do say to people, especially at the moment, we're still in beta phase, so we're asking
Yes.
people to obviously bear with.
Bear with.
But any candidate that goes on there will then obviously all data, all records will be deleted after 6 months.
Right. Okay. So
It
from the
keeps it lean, but
GDPR,
also
yeah.
it means if a candidate is uploaded and they're still on the system after 6 months, something's wrong.
Yeah,
Something's
without a
wrong
shadow. We don't want to get any duplications because I can tell you as a rectorate that's something that is not very
there.
pleasant. So if anyone's listening now and they want to have a try of Recxchange, is there a source on there that they can put the Recruiters Recruitment podcast so you know that they've come by this episode?
Course, absolutely. Yeah.
Great.
So on our join form, we have got a bit there. How did you hear about us? So obviously we can have that on there. And we have your
Beautiful.
podcast listed on there so people can catch up on
Oh,
all of the episodes.
see yours truly on there by the time this goes
Exactly.
out. Be going out in the summer, so hopefully by then you'll have a few more customers. Well, that is absolutely fantastic, and I think that anyone that's doing something to collaborate and bring a community of recruiters together, as far as I'm concerned, that's why we do this podcast. It's about we learn from each other. There's enough business for everyone, and it really does feel quite an altruistic thing.
Definitely.
Have you got
Definitely.
time to do both?
Just well, there's 35 hours in a day, isn't there? I think.
Yeah. Well, it
So.
depends if you listen to Molly May or not, I suppose. And he's got about 75 dogs in his house. Oh, Tom, this has been absolutely fantastic. Well, make sure you, if you're listening to this podcast now, you go and have a look at Recxchange. The links are going to be in the episode. There is a source on there. So if you said, how do you hear about us? Make sure you mention the Recruiters Recruitment Podcast and make sure you feel free to connect to Tom as well. And thank you so much for joining us on the show.
No, it's been great. Thank you so much.